Do you buy the base spec e-bike and do your own upgrades, or go straight into the top spec? Let's go find out. Rudders, welcome back to Sans Bikes, where you know it, we only talk e-bikes. And today on this episode, we are going to build up a Levo comp with a bit of Sam's Bike style with a $2,100 budget, which will then equal the price of the more expensive Expert. And before we start, a massive shout out to Matt Clark. He reached out in an email a couple of weeks ago and said, Sam, long-time subscriber of the channel, love what you did with the DECOY, and it got me thinking. I'm actually very close to buying a Levo, and I'm thinking, should I go for the comp and do a bit of Sam's Bikes upgrade, or should I go straight for the more expensive Expert? And he said that he would like me to do a video and see how I would build it out. And to be honest guys, I am an e-bike geek and I jumped at the opportunity. I actually built the bike out in my head within the first 10 minutes. So, you know, that sort of excitement and passion, I had to shoot the video. So Matt, thanks so much, and let's get into it. Okay, let's have a quick look at the bikes. We've got the comp, which is 6,100 more or less. And then we've got the more expensive Expert, which is I think 2,100 euros more expensive. And as we know, Specialized do a lot of great research and development, and they make great bikes. They've got great batteries, great motors, great geometry, but normally the spec on these bikes is a little bit rubbish. The only downside I can see to speccing out a comp is that it's not a carbon frame. But to be 100% honest with you guys, for me in 2020, I think aluminium e-bikes are the go. One, they're better for the environment, and two, their companies can be changing these bikes every year or every 2 years and giving you more modern geometry, fitting in those batteries, changing the motors up. When these companies invest a lot of money in their carbon molds, they're kind of restricted into a 4-year run. I say bring back the aluminium. So with the build, we are going to try and spend 2,100 euros. I'm going to start, in my opinion, from the most important upgrades to then the least important. So, you know, you don't need to spend all that money, but we're going to because it's a Sam's Bike build and it's got to be top notch. So for me, the most important thing on an e-bike are the brakes. And I know everyone's got mixed feelings about SRAM brakes, but for me, I'm not a big fan. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna get those guides, we're gonna take them off straight away. We're gonna put them on a local eBay or Gumtree and get maybe 100, 120 euros for those brakes. Those brakes are still good brakes. Like you know, there's gonna be younger kids building up their older bikes, so you'll definitely sell those brakes. And we're gonna look at getting a Shimano 4-pot SLX. These are new for 2020. I think value for money, you can't look past the Shimano SLX. They're 4-piston brakes, so definitely grab some of them. So the next most important thing on an e-bike are the tires. The Levo comes with the Butchers, and I've ridden the Butchers for a day on the Kenevo, and to be honest, they're not bad. I didn't get a puncture, I found them quite grippy, they held their shape well. But you know, we are going for the best of the best, so I would be putting some Eddy Currents on there. And if you're worried about rolling resistance, go for a Mary Hans. As you guys know, I've been testing those tires. I've been super impressed with the Eddy Currents. Yes, they are a little bit heavier. They do roll a little bit slower, but I have not had one puncture in over 700 Ks so far. Next, the wheels. If you're riding an e-bike hard, you really need a strong set of wheels. So let's put on some Hope Hubs with DT Swiss Freerider 560 rims. Look, I know you guys are gonna say, wow, they're like super hardcore, pretty heavy wheels. My 27 wheels are 1950 grams without tires or cassette. I put 500 Ks on these wheels so far, ridden some pretty gnarly spots, and I have not got one dent in them yet. So definitely a good strong set of wheels are a must. I personally think don't put your e-bike on a diet. Like, don't try and save that 400 grams on wheels, because if you put a dent in your rim out in the middle of nowhere and your tire won't hold air, it's game over. You're walking 30 Ks back to the car, so definitely wheels are a must. And you've got two options with the wheels. You can keep them as a spare, or keep them when you sell the bike, or sell them online. I would say you're probably going to get 100 to 150 euros for these wheels, and you probably don't need a spare set, because if you build a good pair, you're not going to ruin them. Now let's look at the suspension. Up front, we've got a Lyrik. I would say for the money, it's definitely worth putting a 2.1 charger in on the Lyrik. It's just off the top, that first initial stroke is so plush. So I would say it's definitely worth doing that. And also, while you've opened the forks, I would up the travel from 150 to 170. That's just gonna slacken your bike out a little bit and give you a little bit more when it gets rowdy. I don't see any sort of penalty of that. At the same time, you don't need to change the air spring. You can leave it at 150 or go to 160, but I personally would go to 170. The total cost for that upgrade would be 294 euros. And now for the rear shock. The rear shock's a bit rubbish. So let's change that out for a Cane Creek DB coil and a progressive spring. Yes, you heard right. Cane Creek are now making progressive springs. And a massive shout out to Brett from Adventures with Warby. He runs a sick YouTube channel in Adelaide. Riders, check him out. He does lots of cool reviews, and he rides a Levo. And I asked him, mate, what would you put on? He said, definitely, I'd put on a progressive coil from Cane Creek. So Brett, thank you so much for your advice. He actually also said most people buy the 55-210 size spring, and it actually gives you 157 millimeters of travel. So you're getting an extra 7 mils of travel out of that. So Brett, thank you so much for the advice, and riders, check him out. And that upgrade with hardware would cost 531 euros. Riders, for me, that would probably be my first point of the upgrades. But seeing we have some money left over, and also if something fails when you're riding, it can be dangerous and you can be stranded. So let's spend the rest of that money and really pimp this bike out. The next one would be the dropper. I hear a lot of people talking about braking droppers. I've personally never had any problem with a dropper, but I really like to get that seat out of the way. So let's put on a OneUp V2 210 dropper, if it fits. Riders, I haven't checked if it fits, and if it doesn't fit, let's put on a 180. For me, getting the seat out of the way is super important, and the OneUp gets great reviews, and for 220, I think it's a great upgrade. Okay, now to the cockpit. A lot of people say a cockpit is a cockpit, and a lot of people actually like just saying the name cockpit. But for me, I like the same cockpit. I always have the same stem, same bars, same grips. So let's grab some Renthal Fat bars, carbon. I personally like carbon bars. For me, I think they don't flex as much and they have a little sharper turn, but also that could be in my mind. Anyway, let's go Renthal Fat bar carbons and a 30 mil Industry 9 stem. I love a very short stem. I find that this definitely helps me steer faster, and I really like to sit over the front of that bike more. And some Death Grips by DMR. If you haven't tried these grips, they're really cool. And they remind me so much of a motorbike grip. And let's face it, these e-bikes are almost motorbikes. So definitely there to look in. And for a top-end upgraded cockpit, we're looking at 250 euros. And lucky last, Hope-specific e-bike cranks. I'm not so sure about the cranks that come on the Specialized, but the ones that come on the basic Shimano kit, they're like forged aluminium. Man, I bent them in like a couple of weeks. So a very good upgrade, I think, is some good cranks for an e-bike. The Hopes get a very good review. They look the business, and they're 200 euros. So let's spend the last 200 euros on a good set of cranks. So riders, that's the upgrades and the price after selling the wheels and the brakes. So for a little more money than the next spec Levo, and yes, you get a carbon frame, but I say that this Levo comp, spec'd out like this, will blow the expert out of the water for reliability and ride feel. I have built this bike pretty tough, and I think why not? You know, we have a motor and a battery to get us back up the top. And I kind of think that, you know, like we shouldn't put our e-bikes on a diet. I think what we want is reliability to get us home and to not break out on the trail. So maybe a few less beers during the week and put yourself on a diet, but build the e-bike tough. Riders, I hope you enjoyed that and thanks for watching. Let me know what you thought of the build, how you would build it, or you would just go for the expert carbon straight out. Love to hear what you think. And a massive shout out to Matt. Mate, thanks for the email. Riders, remember, hit me up. I reply to everyone, love to help out. And Matt, the $1 million question now is, are you gonna build it? I think you should. Let me know if you're gonna do it and I'd love to see a photo. Riders, thanks again for watching. It really means a lot. And if you haven't, subscribe, like, share the channel, and stay safe out there. And I'll see you next week.